A quiet Christmas night, shattered by a mystery that haunts us to this day. Who killed JonBenét Ramsey, and why can't anyone figure it out? It was Christmas night, 1996. The Ramsey family had just returned home from a holiday party in their upscale Boulder, Colorado neighborhood. John and Patsy Ramsey were wealthy, well known in their community. Their two children, 9-year-old Burke and 6-year-old JonBenét, were fast asleep. It was supposed to be a peaceful holiday evening, but by morning their world would turn into a nightmare. December 26th, 5:30 a.m. Patsy Ramsey wakes up early to find a 2.5-page ransom note sprawled across the stairs. The letter claimed JonBenét had been kidnapped and demanded a ransom of exactly $118,000, the same amount as John Ramsey's bonus that year. The letter was oddly detailed and threatening, but what Patsy didn't know at that moment was that JonBenét was not missing. She was still inside the house, in the basement. Patsy frantically called 911, reporting her daughter had been kidnapped. Police arrived quickly, but something about the scene wasn't right. The family's friends were called over and everyone was moving through the house. Evidence was being tampered with before the investigation even began. For hours, there was no sign of JonBenét, and the ransom letter was the only clue. But at around 1 p.m., everything changed. JonBenét's father, John Ramsey, and a family friend decided to search the house themselves. In the basement, John made a horrific discovery: JonBenét's lifeless body wrapped in a blanket. JonBenét had been strangled, her wrists bound above her head and her mouth covered with duct tape. A garrote was used to tighten a cord around her neck, made from a paintbrush found in the Ramsey home. She had also suffered a severe skull fracture. The autopsy revealed something even more disturbing. There were signs JonBenét had been sexually assaulted. The question now wasn't just who killed JonBenét, but what kind of monster would do this to a child? Almost immediately, suspicion began to fall on JonBenét's own family. The ransom note seemed staged, too long, too detailed, and written inside the home. The amount requested matched John Ramsey's bonus, and handwriting experts believe Patsy's handwriting bore striking similarities to the note. Why would someone demand a ransom for a child who was already dead? Investigators were left wondering if the note had been written as part of a cover-up. Many began to believe Patsy might have accidentally killed JonBenét during a fit of anger or frustration. According to this theory, the ransom note was her desperate attempt to cover up what she had done. Others speculated that JonBenét's 9-year-old brother Burke could have been involved in an accidental death during a sibling quarrel, and that the parents helped cover it up. But there was no physical evidence to prove these theories, and over time, the Ramsey family steadfastly denied any involvement in JonBenét's death. They insisted they were victims of a brutal crime committed by an intruder. The intruder theory had its own strange twists. A basement window was found broken, and a suitcase was placed below it, as if someone had used it to enter or exit the home. Could an intruder have entered the Ramsey house on Christmas night? Some believed this was the most logical explanation. However, there were problems with this theory too. No clear footprints were found in the snow outside, and police questioned whether the window had been broken that night or months earlier. In 2008, new DNA testing revealed something shocking. DNA found on JonBenét's clothing didn't match anyone in the Ramsey family. This led the Boulder District Attorney to publicly clear John, Patsy, and Burke of any involvement. But this discovery didn't answer the most important question. If the Ramseys didn't kill JonBenét, then who did, and why have they never been caught? To this day, no one has been charged with JonBenét's murder. Over 1,000 people have been interviewed and several suspects have been considered, but none have been arrested. JonBenét's case remains one of the most infamous cold cases in American history. Theories still swirl, from an intruder lurking in the shadows to a family secret buried deep. But the truth remains elusive, and until that day comes, JonBenét's story will continue to haunt us all. Nearly 3 decades later, this case is still filled with more questions than answers. Was it a crime of passion, a tragic accident, or the work of a predator who still walks free? What do you think really happened to JonBenét Ramsey? Let us know your theories in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the world's most haunting mysteries.